Are you trying to lose weight? Are you doing everything possible? You're eating less, you're moving more. Have you been to your family doctor and the doctor said, oh, your blood work's been done and everything is all good. You just have to work more on your nutrition and on your exercise. Well, I get this every day. I see a lot of women with hormone-based issues. So today I wanted to talk about a few things that we need to really address if we want someone to have lifestyle change. So number one is we have to look at the underlying reasons that happen. So as women in particular go through perimenopause, estrogen starts to drop. What happens when estrogen drops? Well, number one, poor sleep can happen. Hot flashes can happen that can make us uncomfortable. But also estrogen can actually impact something called insulin resistance. So if you are having difficulties losing weight, you need to get yourself checked for insulin resistance. Because if you have this, it is definitely going to be much more difficult for you to lose weight without making lifestyle changes, okay? So I want to talk to you a little bit about one of my patients, and let me show you here. One of my patients and her lab data. Let's see if I can pull it up. Okay, so one of the things that I do with my patients, number one, when you come to see me, I love to let you see your numbers, right? Because I think when we know better, we do better. So this patient had actually seen me last summer, and we had just done a very basic panel on her. And at that time, she did start on hormonal therapy. So she started on estrogen and progesterone. It was really making a difference with her sleep patterns and her hot flashes. But then she came back to see me a little bit later in October, and she said, Dr. Keenan, really, it's the weight that I'm just struggling so much with. So we had done an advanced lab panel. And if you see the marker here on the screen with the red arrow, so this was her insulin resistance score, 7.2. So her blood sugar was 5.3. Her insulin level was 182, but her insulin resistance marker was 7.2. So I said to her, it's wonderful that you're sleeping better, but this insulin resistance is really up. And we had previously done her hemoglobin A1C. Actually, I think she'd seen her family physician and had that number done, and it was normal. But often your A1C can be normal. It's a diabetic marker, but many individuals will have insulin resistance 5 to 10 years before they become a diabetic or pre-diabetic. So I said to her at this time, I said, well, what can you do? What's going to change? And a few things happened. She had, number one, and I think this comes with many people that want to make a switch in their life, is that she said, I don't want to live the way that I am right now. So she was at a pretty low moment. She was really stressed out with her work and everything as well. And she said, I want to make something different in my life. So she went home. I'll tell you what she did. But then I just saw her back last week, and look at this. Her insulin resistance number is 1.6. Her fasting blood sugar was 4.5. Her fasting insulin was 49. And guess what else? So let me show you what else we discussed in her visit. So this is how she did it. So her weight, she was at 189 pounds. She dropped 15 pounds, now down to 174. And she said, I feel like myself again. I feel so much better. And it started with her desire, her intention, that she didn't want to keep living life the same way that it was before. But she did get some help, okay? And so, again, when we know better, we do better. So she started wearing a freestyle libre. So this is a device that I put on almost all of my patients. So it's kind of meant to be for diabetics, but allows you to track your blood sugar on a 24-hour-a-day basis. But for me, as her care provider, it really lets me see what's going on with the foods she eats, and also her sleep, her stress levels, all of these things that are impacting her system. So she started wearing the freestyle libre, and I still remember the first time she came back, and she's like, this is a game changer. Like this, I'm able to see what happens when I eat certain things. But even more than that, she said, I'm able to adjust my foods to keep my blood sugar under a certain number. So she also had found online Glucose Goddess. And if you're not familiar with her, just go check her out. She gives lots of tips and tricks on how we can actually literally just rearrange our food by eating our fiber-based foods first, then having our protein, and then saving our carbs to the end. It can make a difference with your blood sugar. And so she was really excited. And so when she would come to see me, we would review her Freestyle Libre data. So if you wear one of these monitors, it hooks up to your arm. But as a practitioner, then it's connected on the cloud, and I'm able to go in and look at the numbers. For some of my patients, I'll just go in and have a quick little snapshot and send them a little message and say there's some areas that they can improve on. But I was so happy for two reasons with this patient as well. And this is part of my note that I wrote in my in her chart, that her family was on board too. So whenever lifestyle change happens, it's really hard to do it on your own. But if you can get others on board, like your family, and of course they want you to feel better. Nobody wants mom that's feeling stressed out and just not being herself all the time. But the family got on board, so they were cutting down on bringing snack foods and bringing, wanting to go for takeout and this sort of thing into the house. And then the last meal was at 6:00. And they were making the family meal a little bit earlier. And everybody else was doing well in the family. But the other thing I didn't capture here in my note is that she said her coworkers now were getting on board. And she was getting on board with them. So for this 15 pounds that she lost, all she was doing was modifying her nutrition. She really didn't start to exercise because her mindset wasn't there yet. She felt that I'm going to grasp nutrition first, which really it's 80% nutrition and about 20% exercise. And now she felt really comfortable with where she was from a nutritional standpoint. So one of her coworkers just set up a challenge at work. And so once an hour, they will go and they will get 100 steps, or it's 1,000 steps, 1,000 steps an hour. I guess it takes about 10 minutes or so. So she was going to join in the challenge with him. She had a Fitbit that she was going to start to track her points. And then during the day, if you miss out some of the 1,000 steps, and at the end of the day, you kind of add them until you keep going until you get 10,000 steps. So that's her next step to help her on her journey. She still wants to lose a few more pounds. She wants to build up her strength. And she was so excited, and I was so excited for her the other day as well, because I know that everybody struggles, right? We all have our struggle, whether it's with our weight, our gut, our stress levels, nutrition, whatever it may be, but having an intention and following through with it. And so I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she got to wear the Freestyle Libre. And this is a device that any of you can go out and access. If you're in Canada, you can just buy it at any pharmacy. In Bermuda, you do need to have it by prescription. And in America, now you can buy it over the counter. Companies like Levels Health, you can actually order the subscription and get started with it. So if you've tried the Freestyle Libre, please drop a heart below. I want to know if you have tried it, the impact that it's had on you. And if you feel that you've made major lifestyle change and it's because you made that intention, I want you to write intention down below, because it all starts with intention. I hope that's been helpful, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye for now.